What is your favorite way to celebrate the 4th of July?
Well, other than spending great time with family and having some wonderful food, how about making a quilt for somebody that's in the armed forces?
That's a great idea. Keep watching what we have for you. Hi, it's Donna Robertson
And John Nossel.
with Fabric Café, and we have a great show for you today, celebrating all of those who have served in the armed forces in this time of the 4th of July. So let's get started. Okay, this one is called Olde Glory. Love, love, love this quilt. It is a perfect patriotic type quilt, and it is one that is not really all that hard to do. I mean, you're going to be really sewing fast just doing the strips on this side. So let's put this one up here, and we have some great new fabric. I think this is going to be so fun. It's like a fireworks show. And I can remember when you used to be on the volunteer fire department when you were a teenager.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that one of the things he liked doing best of all was manning the booth in the middle of the field when the little town that we lived in put on the fireworks show.
That was such a great time.
It was. So this one is going to be the #1 fabric. We picked the focus fabric, the one we want to look at the most, and that one is your focus. So this is going to be the burgundy red. It just looks like the nighttime with the smoke from the fireworks. It's going to go
great.
right here. And then your #2 fabric is going to be in the #2 spot. And look how that contrasts, so you're going to really get a good picture of these two here. Then the #3 fabric is going to go in this background that frames your friendship star. And that is so cool. So you'll have the white here, you'll have the red here, and you'll have the blue in that area.
That's going to be a really pretty finished quilt when you get that made up.
Yes, and I really like the way it looks. This one is 8022280 Fireworks Show. And when you buy this kit, you will get a copy of the Olde Glory pattern free.
So we've got another great thing. You know, if you're needing to make up one of those quilts for, say, our Quilts of Valor or something like that, you know, our quilts, you need to have another little border to that in order to get that up to the requirements of Quilt of Valor. And we've actually got some great things on our website to help support that. One of our things that we have is we have our end of bolts. So when we're cutting our kits and everything, we'll actually have extra fabric that's not a full yard of fabric, and it's great to be able to add a border or some different little projects that you might have on. And in this particular situation, it's a great option for adding for those Quilts of Valor. We also have up on our free goodies section of our website, we've got a great handout up there. It talks about how to add a border to one of our quilts, and it tells you all of the math for that, and it works out really great. So let's look at another one of our patterns that we've got up here. And this is a great one. It's called So Fast, and this is such a fun one with these trucks on it, but we've got a different fabric for you to look at, so let's take a look at that, and it is a great one.
Love it.
What could be better than 4th of July than all of these things? We've got watermelon and popsicles and grills and flags and all of that. Just a really fun fabric.
And fireworks.
Oh, and fireworks too. I mean, totally 4th of July. This is a great one. Our #1 focus fabric here is going to be great. It's going to go in this red section, and it's going to be in all of those areas. Also going to have a little bit of it out here on the border to really add to that nice contrast on that. And then our #2 is another fun one. It's Hometown Pride. So, you know, you were talking about me being on the volunteer fire department. Man, we had really a whole lot of hometown pride with that. So that's going to be our #2, and it's going to be here where our gray background with the trucks are on it. And then just this wonderful dot, almost like a starry night, almost firework sparkles, or those sparks from the fireworks are going to be in our background here to really get these other two blocks to really pop out nicely on that.
That's going to be great.
I think this is going to be a really pretty one. And this one is called Hometown Barbecue. It's 8022281, and it's using that pattern So Fast.
Okay, well, the next one we're going to take a little twist here. Now, here we have a Christmas quilt, and as you well know, you can use any one of our patterns to make any quilt for any season as long as you have 3 one-yard cuts. So this one is called Fireside. We're going to put it up here and talk a little bit more about that. So this one is a Christmas quilt, but we are going to take the pattern from this book, and it's called Make It Christmas with 3-Yard Quilts. And we're going to put patriotic fabric in this and make it look totally different. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And if you like the way this looks, you need to be sure to subscribe and ring the little bell, because we do this all year long. We'll take Christmas and put fall. We'll take a regular quilt and we'll put Christmas. So you'll want to see some of these other ones. We really like to focus on how you use your fabric in your quilts, and it's a great way to learn a little bit extra about placement of fabrics.
And that's definitely one of the great things about our 3-yard patterns is they just work with any fabric. So
that's right.
It's great.
All you need to do is pick out 3 fabrics. And we have a black and white legend, and that legend has the polka dot, the white, and the dark, and then the black and white picture matches. And this is the way you choose your fabric. You're going to put your focus fabric in 1, your light in number 2, and your dark in number 3. And we have pieces and parts for you. So let's look at that. Now with this particular fabric, let's put the fabric over here and flip through it real quick like. So with this particular fabric, we are going to be going to a little bit of a little more feminine type fabric. And this fabric, we quite often forget that there are women in the armed forces that might appreciate having just a little more frou-frou, I guess you could say. So this is going to be our number 1 fabric. It's going to go in this large block. The number 2 is going to go in the white area here. And the number 3 is going to be the border on this block as well as the border on the quilt. Now let's look at our pieces and parts and how this goes together. So let me give you that. Perfect. We're going to make this little block here first, and we start with a strip piece. Now the strip piece section looks like this. You've just got 3 long pieces that you're going to sew together, and then you're going to cut it in what we call a unit. So we will actually cut this little section right here. And we create a unit which we sew a couple of strips on each side of that unit.
Doesn't get any easier than that.
No, it doesn't. Now, whenever you start out, you're going to make this row, you're going to make this row, and then this is a separate row. So we're going to do that here by placing this particular block. Then we're going to have a plain block placed here. Then we place another block right beside that. So this one would go over here like so. Now the next row, you start off with, I'm going to keep those just 1 second.
Okay.
You're going to start with this, and this is a little bit of a directional fabric, but it is no effort whatsoever to cut and place this directional fabric in the right place, going the right direction. So you place that here. You take another one of these blocks that we put here. We're going to sew it like this, and then we will repeat that with a big block and then this block. These are just so super easy to make.
That is great.
All right, so this particular kit is called Patriotic Paisley. It is from the book Make It Christmas. The pattern is called Fireside, and the alternate pattern is going to be Picture Perfect.
So our next one is another great one. It's called Bold Blocks, and I love this one because it does have this nice big block in there so you can have a great focus fabric in it. And we've got one of those for you today, so let's put that up on the table and take a look at that. I think this is a really neat style of fabric. It's kind of that batik-like, and they've gone in and modeled that to give it kind of a little bit of a watercolor design in that.
But it's actually a printed fabric.
And it's all printed. So that's a great a technique that they're doing. They're doing so many exciting things with fabrics, the metallics and everything. We'll see some metallics in this one too. So it's really cool. So we're going to have these flags. They're going to be in our big block here on this. So you'll have a nice big block of that. And then our second fabric on this is this really nice beige, and it actually has some silver in it. So there's a little bit of reflection in that.
That's
so it's
nice.
It's a really nice design on that. So that's going to be back here in our background where the red is in this. And then our red has gold in it. So this is another really neat design of fabric on this.
And look how this goes with that. Isn't that gorgeous?
That's great.
That's going to make a great border to that block.
This one is called Raise the Flag, and it's 8022283. Bold Blocks is that pattern. It's out of the book pretty darn quick.
That's cool. Okay, now this one is called Park Place. Park Place is a super simple one to make, and it has a 4-patch, but it's a rectangular 4-patch. So it gives you a little bit different look, and it gives you a nice long look to the quilt. So let's put that one up here. And that is another example of this particular quilt of using patriotic colors, but not with stars and flags and things like that. But we are going to now take it and put a little bit of fireworks into it.
These are such fun fabrics. We had so much fun finding all of these
we
from the
did.
different manufacturers.
You should have seen Hannah and Fran and me when we were picking out fabric. Oh, look at this one, look at this one. we have a great time picking out fabric, as I know you do too. So this particular one is our focus fabric. It's the largest print in the 3, and we're going to put that in the largest block. It also shares the 4-patch over here, so it really spreads that out all over the quilt. Then our number 2 is perfect. This is a stripe, and when you're using a stripe with our patterns, a lot of times you'll be able to put a stripe in the number 2 position, and we do try to take into consideration when we're placing a stripe, will the pattern work well with the stripes? So let me show you where it's going to go. It's going to be strip pieced with this, and it will automatically just be a stripe that's going like this. And then you put strips on the side, they will automatically go like that. So you're not having to match up the ends of the stripe and so that they don't look kind of crooked. Out here on the border, look at this. This is going to be so cool. This border is going to have stripes going this way. And again, it just works perfectly when you're using stripes. So as I often say, fear not the stripes. They're going to look great in a 3-yard quilt. Then your third fabric is this red. It's going to go where the blue is, and it's going to make a great looking quilt, all red, white, and blue. This one's called Rocket Burst. It is 8022284. The pattern is Park Place, and it's from the book Fast and Fun.
We have Porch Rails, and while this batik is absolutely gorgeous, let's put this up on the table and show you the patriotic fabric that we have with this.
And you get pieces and parts.
Oh, pieces and parts. I know how much y'all love those pieces and parts, and we've got some really neat stuff happening. So this is one that we're going to be doing out of the Pretty Darn Quick book. We're using that Porch Rails on this, and it's great because it's just 2 basic blocks that are in it, and it's just rinse, lather, and repeat, as I jokingly say. So our first thing is we've got this great block out here, and
how easy does that get?
It doesn't get any easier than that.
Yeah.
And this is a directional fabric, and it works really well with this, so you can have the directional fabrics in a design like this.
Yes.
We're going to have 2 of these big blocks out there. And then our next one is, I was really excited whenever I saw this. So here's an example of the strip assembly that we have. We've just literally have cut 3 different strips of fabric, sewn those together, and then we're able to come in and cut out our blocks so that it goes together real nice.
This is another example of how easy it is to use stripes in.
Very good example of using stripes with this.
With our 3-yard quilts.
So we've cut those blocks, and now we can come in here, and I think this is absolutely a gorgeous design on this. And it just really pops.
I love it.
And the stripes, I think, look even that much better on that.
Here, why don't you crop that one? Because that's,
let's do that.
Get that busyness out from the background, because it is
So we can
awesome.
come in there and crop all that out.
And I don't know if they can read this, but this is great reading. It has all types of allegiance and loyalty and
honor and proud and all kinds of great words in there.
This would make a great Quilts of Valor, and adding a border onto it and make it super. All right.
That would be a great example of that. Okay, so let's take a look at the fabric. So we've got the words that are all in our number 1 fabric, as we saw here. And then that number 2 fabric, I think this is almost kind of a little bit of that desert storm camo-y look on that. That's
true.
kind of a neat little touch there. And then, of course, again, that stripe is absolutely just rich reds and blues in that.
I think you should make a bow tie out of that.
I've actually been eyeballing that.
Okay, okay.
So this is a great one. It's called My Country, and it is using Porch Rails, and the number on that is 8022285.
Now the next one that we have coming up is called Hopscotch, and Hopscotch is a fun quilt that goes together. It's sort of like a stylized 9-patch. think of it that way. And I'll block that off for you so you can see the actual blocks that we're making. If you'll hand me the croppers, John, I will show you how this goes. Now this is just super simple and easy to do. So one of your, when I say a stylized nine patch, it's almost like a stylized rail fence also.
That's true.
So you make this like you would a 9 patch where you do strips and cut them into sections and then alternate the 3 pieces of fabric on each side. But this one, we make that center section like you would for a 9 patch. Then we add rails on each side. So that's how simple that block is. And then each one is just turned. So this one is just the same block, but we've turned it sideways.
Very cool.
Isn't that cool? Okay, and what could be more apple pie and USA and all of that than dogs and flags and, you know, pickup trucks. You got that dog in the back, and yeah, that's what.
And it's really fun because, you know, the dog has a bandana on him, and it's like we always see dogs at this time of the year with, you know, a red, white, and blue bandana on them, and it's
right.
adorable.
Well, they can't wear those heavy coats.
Yeah.
So this is our number 1 fabric. It's going to go in this position. The number 2, we got to have those trucks in there. That's going to be here. And then we have our blue stars, which is your background, as well as your accent color in the block. This one is called All American, and it's 8022092 Hopscotch, which comes from the book Quilt Favorites. And remember, you can either take a free pattern with each kit, or you can get 3 kits and get a book free.
And that book deal's a great deal. So let's look at one more up here. This one is called Modern Charm, and I think this is just a great design. Again, we got a nice big block on that. Then we have this turn dash in here that's really neat. So let's put that up on the table and show you what we've got in store for you with that. So we've already had one other that was kind of that female or feminine influenced red, white, and blue fabric, and I think this is a really neat one.
And you know, you could use this any time of the year. It's gorgeous.
That's very true. And you know, we've got a lot of these colors that are even in some of the styles nowadays with interior design and things like that. So this is such a great vintage style on this one. So we've got this just gorgeous floral print that's going to be up here in our nice big block that we have on this. And then we've got this, again, another little kind of organic floral design on this that's going to be in our backgrounds on this one. So that's going to be in the background here around our turn dash. And then our blue is going to be where our darker colors are in this to really get everything to pop nicely. So it's a really neat design. And again, it's all strip methods like we've done with we've shown on some of the others there. It goes together very quick and easy. So this one is called Freedom Garden, and it's 8022286. It's a pattern Modern Charm from the book Quick as a Wink. The alternate pattern we're suggesting is Heartland, which is a really, really neat design too.
You know, it's so much fun to see how versatile a 3-yard quilt pattern is, because you can use any fabric in any quilt that you make. It just seems to take care of all those fabric headaches that you have in selecting fabric.
So true.
So be sure to subscribe and click the little bell if you'd like to see us place fabrics in different quilts in the future.
So this is John Nossel
and Donna Robertson. Thanks for joining us.